What is up, Division 2 agents? This is Gamer4Life back with another Division 2 video. Honestly, I wasn't going to cover much of the PTS because I have a lot of stuff going on in my personal life right now, like getting ready to go on a vacation starting next week. So yes, unfortunately, I am going to be missing about 9 or 10 days, I don't know, worth of winter event projects. But you have some other awesome content creators that will keep you up to date on those. And then when I get back, I'll make a video showcasing all of the ones that I missed and put that in my winter event project playlist. If you have not started any of the winter projects yet and you want every project that you need to go over to get caught up, I have all of them in one place for you in that playlist. So definitely go check that out. Now on to this video. Even though I wasn't going to cover much on this PTS, a couple of changes really caught my eye and I absolutely had to try them out. And one change that I think is kind of going under the radar because of all of the other amazing changes going on, and that is the Lady Death. So we can see the change that they did on the talent Breathe Free for the Lady Death. When moving, gain 4 stacks per second or 8 stacks while sprinting. Max stack is equal to the weapon's magazine size. Before, when moving, gain 4 stacks per second or 8 stacks while sprinting, up to 32 total. So the build that I made, as you can see, is a ninja bike with a 3-piece True Patriot, 3-piece Brazos, and of course that 3rd piece on Bravos did get a buff as well. It was in the live game, it is 20% magazine size, and of course in the PTS you can see they upped it to 30% mag size. So I have 51 bullets in my Lady Death, and now with the change of the talent, all 51 bullets, amplified bullets. The entire mag is amplified. Now you saw in the beginning gameplay just how crazy the damage was, and yes, this was the build I was using. And now I'm showcasing some of the little bit of PvP that I was able to get while using this build, because I was trying to get some conflict matches and it just was not happening. But luckily I was able to get into one, and having the full mag be amplified bullets with this setup is just crazy. Now there's so many different ways you could run this build. I mean, you don't have to run it like this. You could have the full set, 4-piece True Patriot. But one thing I did want to try as well is the talent Obliterate, because that did have a change as well. So now its critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 10 seconds. This used to be for just 5 seconds. So now they're giving us even more time, double the time actually, to keep our stacks up. So, if we have our full stacks, 25 extra weapon damage, now we have 10 seconds to get that next crit hit, because as we know, each crit hit that we get refreshes that timer. So that is an awesome change. So yeah, that's one of the first things that I wanted to try out. And also something else I wanted to try out, I'll show you right here, is this build. You can see it's all blue. And again, just like with that Lady Death build, I have absolutely no expertise on any of this stuff. So this stuff could, can hit even harder. Here's the change to Heligar. So as you can see, the 1-piece stayed the same. 2nd piece got a buff to 20% health, and the 3rd piece, which is huge, got a buff to 3% armor regen. That's insane. And that's not the only thing that got a buff. Golden Gear, 10% status effects, and then we got 2% armor regen. Yeah, and then the 3rd piece did get a buff to 10% total armor as well. But we're not using that 3rd piece. We were just focusing on getting as much armor regen as we can on this build. And again, like I've already said, no expertise. So if you put expertise on all of these pieces, you can get this build well over 2 million. You can get it to 2.1 million, especially if you had max expertise on this thing. So that's 5% armor regen just with these pieces. And then when you get full stacks with Memento, and I'm going to show that, this gives you another 3%, so 8% total. We can I can show you exactly what we're sitting at right now. You can see I have some decent crit on this as well. 59 crit chance, 110 crit damage. But the base armor regen, 121,226 base armor regen. Once we hit the other 3% from Memento, this gets over 179k armor regen. But here's the reason why this build is doing so much damage as well. And I'm just using it. I was using the Ouroboros. I'm like, you know what? Let me just use a very accessible gun that everyone can use to showcase that this thing is still doing some crazy damage, even without, you know, something like the Ouroboros. So this did get a buff. The Banshee did get a buff to let's see. Let me check it out. All right, I found it and I'll put it up on the screen so you can see the Banshee did get a buff, 50 RPM and plus 5% weapon damage. So the RPM is now 950 instead of 900, and we do get that extra 5% weapon damage on it as well. And I just went ahead and measured on it. Obviously, we know what we get from the Memento with all of the stacks. You get up to 30% extra weapon damage and additional 5% weapon damage every time we pick up a trophy. But something else that got a rework, Perfect Intimidate. So check this out. While you have bonus armor, gain 1 stack each second up to a max of 10 stacks. Each stack increases weapon damage by 5% to enemies within 10 meters. All stacks are lost when you have no bonus armor. So it's actually pretty easy to get this to full stacks with the bonus armor that we get from the Memento, and of course with all the armor that we have, that's a lot of bonus armor. So that's giving us 50% weapon damage. That's a nice buff to Perfect Intimidate, and then the regular Intimidate is 9 stacks. So yeah, they definitely buffed this quite a bit. So with that buff, that enables us to be able to have all of these blue cores and still deal out some awesome damage. So you can see I took it out and did some missions with it. I mean, the armor regen is just crazy. If you take a look at the regen on it, you know, yeah, it's beautiful. And also, you know, let's take a look at the armor regen with the full stacks of Memento. Over 179k. That's insane. So yeah, these are the two things I really wanted to test out. And let's take a look at this, the Revive Hive as well. They changed the time that it gets us up. So you know how fast it gets your teammates up, but then it always took like 5 seconds, 5-6 seconds to get us up. It took a long time to get ourselves up. But they actually changed it to where now, as you saw, it gets us up really fast now. So those are some awesome changes that I've seen in the PTS, or the ones I really wanted to test out. There's a lot of other crazy changes coming. There's going to be a lot of videos out there that a lot of awesome content creators will put out, so definitely check those out. Another thing that they did change, I don't know if, I don't think this was in the patch notes at all, but I'm going to take you over here to Descent. So for all of you Descent junkies who has just a crazy amount of money on this because you've already bought everything, well, now you have a reason to spend them, because now they're selling exotic caches and name caches. So you can use those points now if you have, you know I have a buddy in my clan who has a lot of these points that there's nothing to do with them. So well, now they gave you something to do with them. So that's a pretty awesome change as well. So anyway, that's a few things that I saw change and I just had to try out myself. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video, my friends. Hope you guys are doing good, staying safe out there, and as always, my YouTube family, take it easy.